got so many to see if I can keep them in a row. I was a graduate as a pilot, and I had one more training to go through, and that was out at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas.
Oh my heavens.
So I reported out there, and lo and behold, I had a few extra days, so I said, "Oh, let's just see what Vegas looks like." And well, they call it the Strip then. And so I went to the most famous one at that time. I walked in, and my God, the place was crowded as hell. I said, well, yeah, maybe I'll just play the slot machines. You know, that back in those days, they were one-armed bandits. Well, I looked around, couldn't find the machine, and finally I found one that had a paper cup on top of the handle. So I grabbed that. Well, I had already gotten change to play the machines. Well, I took the paper cup off, put it down, and started feeding the machine, and clang, you know, I guess I put maybe 50, 55 cents in the damn thing. Then all of a sudden, I get hit on the shoulder. Thank God it hit me there instead of my head. Boom, boom, and I'm in the damn floor. Well, I didn't know that a protege around there was if somebody had a cup with a handle, it was they had gone for change to get the cashier. So I'm flat on the damn floor. Well, next day, they got the emergency service there, and a lot of other agencies and so forth. And finally, they told me why I was hit. And then they asked, "You want to charge it?" I said, "No, just let it go." And they said, they rewarded me. They took me into what do you call it, the bar. Well, they had live music on stage, not the big shows that were where you paid a hell of a lot of money for, and sat me down and gave me dinner and drink, Coke or something like that. So I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden, here comes prancing across the stage, and she stopped and looked. You've heard of Louis Prima and
Keely Smith.
Keely Smith.
Yeah.
Well, I've known Keely since we were a junior in high school. Her desk was right next to mine. Just look. And anyway, I had known her since junior in high school. Now this is about 5 years later, because I'd been to college and flight school, so forth. So anyway, she comes out on the stage with her husband, and then a couple that made the song, "I Got It Good and Ain't Bad." Anyway, she sees me and waves and smiles, And the next thing you know, she comes down, finishes, comes down, comes over and gives me a big hug and says, so good to see you, blah, blah, blah. Well, the table right next to me, they had just finished the show, was Frank Sinatra and what they call a
Rat Pack?
Rat Pack. So she was telling everybody that how she and I had known each other since we were in high school. And then she announced, the Martins are here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Martins. So she calls Dean Martin over and said, I want you to meet a friend of mine. And she says, I would like for you two to meet the Martins. And she introduces as Gene. This is Dean.
Gene. Yeah.
Dean, Gene. And lo and behold, there was Frank Sinatra sitting there with his entourage. But at any rate, I learned a damn good lesson that night. Don't gamble.